It's Danish from Local Niche Marketing. Meta and Google Ads are not alternatives, and treating them like one is costing you patience or customers. Now, if you treat them as an alternative, then you're mistaken because one is there for you to create demand for your product or services, and the other actually captures it, right? So in this video we are going to cover this question that is usually asked a lot, that you know which platform to start advertising on, right? So our answer is you have to be present on not only Google and Facebook, but also TikTok, also LinkedIn, right? The more the platforms you have, the more the audience is going to be aware of your services or your business, right? So you and the when deciding the advertisement of your business, you end up choosing one, and that is a big problem. Now we are going to cover this in more detailed view. um, for example, this happens to me a lot, right? When I'm scrolling through the Facebook, I tend to see a product or a service that I might be interested in, right? Wait for a second because their hook was strong and it actually was relatable to me. So I stopped there and then I go on Google to search this company, whether it was legit or, um, you know, eh, what kind of reviews they have got, things like that. And my journey stops there, right? I did not make the decision of buying their product or service. Again, I go to Facebook after some time, the same ad appears or different ad appears from the same company name. Now, in my subconscious, I've actually made a decision to buy that product. But because the customer journey is not linear anymore, so I have postponed my decision at the first instance. And in the second instance, when I opened Google, I just typed in their business name and just go to their website and bought the product or service. This is why it is really essential for your business to be present on both of these platforms, because one is creating awareness for your business and second is capturing that demand, right? So that's why these both platforms are not alternatives. Now let's just start how or what is Google Ads, right? And how it works. Now, Google Ads is, we are just talking about the search campaign here. However, there are a lot of different campaigns. There is also a demand gen campaign, PMAX campaign, but let's just stick to search campaign in this video. So people are searching for your product, right? And I mean, this is really high intent audience. If you are not present on certain keywords like chiropractor near me, chiropractic adjustments near me, things like that, right? A spinal decompression near me. So you need to be present on these keywords on Google, so you can have more conversions, because these leads or these people who are searching for near me keywords, these are really interested in getting pain relief immediately. And that's why once they go onto your website, they are just going to book an appointment right away. So these people are ready to book patients, right? However, there are certain limitations of Google Ads as well. For example, search volume is a limitation. Limitation, you are not able to scale your ads beyond that particular demand, right? And because of same keywords, you're going to have a lot of competition. Because of this competition, then Google, because this works on and people who are bidding higher in the auction are going to win the auction, and that's why your cost per click is going to rise on Google Ads, and your cost per click is going to be expensive than Meta ads, right? Now, on the other hand, Meta ads are basically interrupt based marketing. These people don't have higher intent of buying your service as compared to Google ads, but you can do a lot of things utilizing the Meta ads platform. You can educate people using your content. You can build awareness for your services or products, and thus you can create demand for your business. Now, Meta ads limitations are, you need to be present on this platform, not with a single creative, that is for sure, after the Andromeda. You have to have creative diversity across your campaigns so people can know that you offer this kind of service, and the treatment or the product. And once you start telling people that you offer this kind of service or treatment, then people start using other platforms to get your reviews from, right? And then they can actually give you a conversion. So these are some limitations of Meta ads, because oftentimes you have to be really diligent in following up with these leads, and you need a post lead experience that is engaging in a way that actually converts the customers or patients, right? So here are a few of the CPC benchmarks, 2025 and 2026. So for search ads, it's typical around $5 to $15, and these are for average local keywords. Like, for example, you're doing a campaign and for chiropractic adjustments in St. Petersburg, right? So these are really local keywords. These will have a lower cost per click. Well, it actually depends on the area where you are advertising, and then you have to see how many advertisers are actually advertising against these keywords. But this is the benchmark. And for the competitive keywords and for competitive areas, people are spending $5 to $40 a click. So that is a lot for chiropractors, right? On the other hand, if you see CPC benchmarks for Facebook ads, these are lower as compared to Google ads, because again, the intent is not that much higher, and we are using interruption based marketing to get their attention. Now, the difference between both of these platforms is that one creates demand for your product or service or treatment, and one actually captures it. So, we need to use both of these platforms strategically, right? And the best strategy is to use both together, because once the demand is generated, there is a higher chance that they are going to be converted on Google as compared to Facebook, because they have seen your ad, seen your product, they are interested. That's why they are viewing your company. They want to see, okay, so this is the company, um, and this is the treatment they're offering. Okay, let me go to their Google reviews and see how people are sharing their opinion about the treatment, right? So that's why you need to have a solid strategy in creating demand and then capturing it. One of the best ways to capture your uh, demand is using branded search campaigns with your brand name and then reviews, and then you can also use simple branded campaigns in maybe exact match or phrase match, and you can use maximize conversions, or you can also use manual CPC on these keywords. So these specific keywords are going to get you the business, right? I'm not saying that you are not going to use your service specific keywords. These are also important, but you need to use your branded search campaigns as a way to capture this demand that was being generated from your meta ads. So again, there is no alternative to both of these platforms. They work usually together if you have to scale your business, you know. So that's why our recommendation is to not go with a single platform, use multiple platforms to get the most conversions for your business. Yeah, there comes a time when you can actually start increasing or decreasing according to the seasons, maybe, but they work basically in a combination. So if you are starting your advertisement journey, you can contact us. Everything will be mentioned in the description of the video. Until the next video, thank you.